Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So for today, well, not today, I did it yesterday because today it's raining and it would, well, today I'm talking about fixing the paint and surface rust issues on my Tesla Model 3. All right, so as you can see, it's raining out. Got a little bit of fog coming up in the windshield, so let's go ahead and eliminate that. So over the last several months or so, I have noticed that a little bit of paint was beginning to come off of the rocker panels right behind the front tires on my car, and it's sort of a known early Model 3 thing, and really didn't have much surface rust. I mean, the tiniest little hint, but the paint was coming off, and just basically sandblast from the tires hitting the paint there. And right now it is early September, first week of September, and being that winter is approaching, I wanted to make sure that I got this addressed before winter. So to that end, it was Labor Day weekend, and had a 3-day weekend, and they were calling for nice weather, at least for the majority of the weekend. So I figured it was a good opportunity that I could take advantage of and go ahead and do the work to the car. So let's dig into it. So today I'm taking a look at the small damaged paint areas right behind the front wheels, and we're going to go ahead and clean those areas up, coat them, and paint them. All right, so now that I've got the car up on jack stands, and you can see I've left the jack with some tension under that jack stand on the side I'm working on, just extra safety precaution. But now I've got the car up on jack stands with the wheels off. You can clearly see the spot that I need to get to. So I need to take this fiber inner fender well out to access the back of that, so I can clean up both sides for coating. This part down here is plastic that wraps underneath the car. So, but while I've got it off, I can look around in there, and sorry for the sun glare. Pretty good considering the car is approaching 90,000 miles. Really not much corrosion to speak of. A little surface rust on the shock there, but yeah, it actually looks pretty good. It'll eventually need shocks, obviously, but not bad. There's some visual grooving and a tiny bit of pitting on the front rotors, but there's no pulsing through the pedal, and the brakes don't make any noise, so that's fine. The brake pads still have plenty of material on them. You can see the wear indicator tab isn't anywhere near. The beauties of electric regen with EVs. So, all right, so the next part is to take this inner fender well out and see what we have behind it. All right, moving right along. So there are plastic snap clips here. There's one up in here. That one's kind of tough to get off. There's little plastic retainers on those studs. There's another clip here, and then up on the underside you can see around here there's a couple of clips. My little fiber underpan must have gotten hit with a chunk of ice or something, but there's one 10mm bolt and one plastic clip that is in that area. So I'm going to run to the hardware store and see if they have any of these extra push clips, because about 2 out of 3 of them break trying to get them off. So they get all fused in there. Plus, be ready for dirt to fall on you. I don't live in a gravel road or anything, but just that's the way my car is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the front portion so I can get the entire wheel well out. There's clips here, there, over here, up inside there, here. I mean, they're all over the place. So, but for the most part, other than fighting with breaking plastic clips, it's coming off. So, all right, so I'm right in that same spot here. You're definitely going to want to drop this down. There's a little cap and a 10mm hex bolt there. Once you get that off, you can flex this down, and that gets all full of dirt and junk. And so also it looks like this tab never did get snapped up into its clip. This tab is bent over, if you can see that. So make sure you get that properly inserted when you put it back up. But I'm going to hold this down, clean out all that dirt. Look at that. That's ridiculous. And clean up this whole area and get that coated, and then I'll go to the other side. Alright, so it's coming along, and there's a spot here that I needed to deal with, and even this little corner of the fender. It's hard to see by the video, but I did get around behind this lip with my finger and sanded that clean. So what I'm going to do next is use some auto body tape off this area, and then hit it with truck bed liner in that area, and then once that dries and sets, I will paint it white. Started taping, but I realized I neglected to show you guys that the paint damage continues underneath the car, so I'll be sanding and taking care of that whole area as well. Alright, so I've got it all taped off. That area taped off from overspray. Laid a rag over my jack to protect it. I'll probably wrap my screwdriver in tape as well, and we'll go for it. So wish me luck, boys. I'm going in. Alright, so there it is coated. I got it real good on the back side. Filled that area. I will actually be spray painting that whole inner area white as well. So we'll go ahead and start peeling the tape off and see how it looks. So there it is with the tape removed. So some got between the body panels, but not a big deal because that'll all be painted in there as well. And up underneath, coated in that area. So I'll be taking down that little bubble and to smooth it out a bit. Now bear in mind, guys, this car has close to 90,000 miles on it. The car will be going in next year to the body shop to have a bunch of nicks and dings taken care of, but I wanted to get this done primarily just to stop rust and prepare the car for the upcoming winter. So while that cures, I'm going to go prep the other side, and then I will paint this side. So while I've got the wheel well off, figured I would show you guys what it looks like inside there. Looks like the LED driver for the headlight there. There's a look behind the front bumper section of the car there. Pretty clean up in there. A couple rocks. I'll clean all those out before I put it back together. And the aluminum bumper substructure there. Steering rack and tie rod. So as a rear-wheel drive car, it's a big hollow area back there where there would be a drive unit if it were an all-wheel drive car. So yeah, pretty clean inside here. Got a little bit of dirt there. So yeah, wheel well does its job pretty well anyway, except for this area here. All right, we're on the driver's side now. A lot of sun glare, sorry about that. So let's see how much junk we get out here. I've got all the clips removed. So let's see. Wow, look at that dirt. That is all dirt. Look at that. Wow, that'll have to be dug out. It's worse than the other side. So, all right, let's pull it out completely. All right, so with the wheel well out, you can see this side I've already begun sanding it, and same as the other side, it continues up along the bottom. So we'll get that sanded clean, taped off, and undercoated like the first side. And so thought you guys would get a kick out of seeing that's the inner cavity of where a drive unit would be if this were an all-wheel drive car. So I'll show you as I approach from the caliper, come up around behind the suspension arm, down and inside. So there's where the drive unit would be. Lots of space up in there. So there's the front edge of the battery pack. So yeah, That's where it would reside if it were an all-wheel drive car. All right, so here's that section, and I'm wrapping a piece of sandpaper around my finger and getting behind here. So, because I want to make sure I get the entire back side of this edge, get it all coated front and around back, and this whole section and underneath, and then I'll paint it. Coming along well. All right, all taped off and ready to hit it with the undercoating. All right, well, I'm more comfortable and familiar with doing this because I already did the other side. So this side turned out a little bit cleaner, less overspray. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and peel the tape off and we'll let this cure. I gotta run to the hardware store to get some more of these push clips because a number of them broke. Or go to the auto parts store, I should say. And while that cures, so I'll peel the tape off, let that cure, go to the hardware store or auto parts store, and then come back and start with the painting. Peeled off the old tape that was taping off the for the undercoating, and I retaped it, and you can see there's a little bit. I didn't tape quite all the way over to the undercoating or the bed liner area. I want the white paint to overlap over to the factory paint. I didn't tape on the inside, so I got some overspray of the bed liner between the panels, so I'm going to leave that open, so as I paint it, it'll coat that as well. So bear in mind, in the grand scheme of things, you won't see it at all. In fact, I could leave the black bed liner on there and you wouldn't even really see it because it's behind the wheel, but I want to hit it with white paint anyway. I'll paint the back in that area as well. So I'm going to use some Ace Hardware appliance white. This is white epoxy paint. It works great. I actually I've used it to touch up my wheels as well, and it works wonderfully. And driver's side taped up, ready to be painted. All right, so I've done a couple of coats. It's obviously the surface is rough because it's undercoating. Again, that's inside the wheel well. From the side, there's really only a thin, tiny little edge. I'm gonna put a couple more coats on it till it is nice and pure white. I'll sand a little bit between each coat. So we'll go around to the other side. Same thing over here. It's rough because of the bed liner, so I will be sanding that a little bit smoother. But again, that rough area is inside the wheel well. So, yep, coming right along. All right, so there it is. The paint is cured all the way in back there, and all that rough area is the bed liner that I sprayed on. And this edge, if you see here, it's different shade of white than the car, plus this is just permanently scarred from road debris. This isn't, that's just staining there, that mark. I'll be getting mud flaps that will come back and cover all this anyway, so I'm not worried about it. I just needed it protected. And when you stand back, you don't really see it anyway. So that's it. All right, guys, so I'm putting the wheel wells back in. So what you want to do is roughly stuff it in the hole. Oh, don't mind the surface rust. We had a little bit of rain last night. That'll come right off the first time I drive it. But the first thing, what you want to do is stuff it kind of roughly in the opening, and then what you want to do is line up the first couple clips first. Put those in the front, and that will hold the front in place, and then you can work the rest of it around. So I'll go ahead and do that now. All right, so a bunch of these plastic push clips broke in working on this thing. So I went to AutoZone and found that Honda. Let's see if I can hold my phone here. That Honda clips are pretty much identical. So they are the right diameter and the right gripping length. And these are in this package. They are Honda part number, well, AutoZone, but they're for a Honda, and the number is 459880 is the part number. They are 4 for $4, so $1 a piece. Now you can see I'm using these Honda clips I mentioned earlier in the video. I'll be using a lot of the Tesla clips too, but just to show you that these fit fine, put it in the hole, give it a push, nice and solid. So those Honda clips from AutoZone work great. Oh, and in case you're wondering what this slot is, that comes from the front of the car here. That puts a sheet of air across the front wheel to improve the aerodynamics, to reduce the turbulence coming off the front wheel. Other cars use this as well. Our BMW has it also, but with an EV, it is designed to increase efficiency. And this is one of the largest slots I've seen on any of the cars I've owned. So in case you're curious what that is. All right, so I've got them all back in. Make sure you get them all. So there are underneath here, there's a screw and then one clip underneath this section here, plus one here, and there's a screw underneath this spot here for the rocker panel cover. But the push clips, there's one here, then there's 3, 4, 5, then there's these two bolt clips, 6, 7, there's one up here, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this inner fender well is held on by 18 separate fasteners. Make sure you don't forget any of them, because if you do, say you forget this one, slop slinging off the front wheel will get through there, especially in the back, and can fill up that back section with debris. So make sure you get all the clips in there. So I'm taking this opportunity to clean the inside of the wheels, along with rotating the front tires left to right side. So this is an area of the wheels that's difficult to get to clean, so whenever I take them off, I always make sure I clean the back side of them. About ready to put it back on the car and go for a test spin. Alright, so I'm putting the wheels on, and I wanted to point this out. I put before I took the wheels off, I put a piece of tape on the sidewall, put an L on it, that's left side. You'll notice this one is on the right side now. I labeled the side that I took it off of so that I knew which side it came from. So when I rotated the tires, I knew to get it on the correct other side. So just a little tip for you. That's my my project. I wanted to get that done before the winter. Also, this is currently being recorded on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. Tomorrow, my car goes in and for a complete custom interior. So that will be it's full catskins, leather upholstery, front and rear seats. So I'll be shooting a video on that. But I wanted the car to look as nice as I could get it to look. I also vacuumed it out before I brought it in. So today it's pouring rain, so I'm really glad I got this done. We really haven't had a lot of rain this summer, but now it's raining, so I'm glad I got this done before the rain. So that is it for me for today. I am enjoying working on this car, and I highly encourage you guys, if you work on cars at all and you're scared of working on a Model 3, I mean, I understand Model S's are more complicated, but if you're scared of working on a Model 3, let me encourage you. They're very easy cars to work on, they really are. The absence of a combustion engine and all the related exhaust system in that really does make these, from a mechanical standpoint, very simple cars to work on. They are electronically complex, but mechanically they are very simple. So I wanted to give you an update on the swiveling screen mount kits. Brian from I1 Tesla recently did a review video on it, and so I recently got inundated with a bunch of orders because of his video. Right now, we are currently shipping orders from 5 weeks back. So 5 weeks back. We're doing our best to catch up. The machinist is working as hard as he can. My wife is sewing the fabric sleeves as fast as she can. The 3D printer is printing parts as quickly as he can for me. So we are punching orders out. We were about 7 weeks behind until recently, so we're actually catching up. I think within the next couple weeks we'll be running with a consistent roughly 3-week backlog. So that's that. If you want to order a screen mount kit, there'll be a link in the description below. Let me think here. Cody from CF Tesla is receiving his screen mount kit within the next day or two, so he'll be doing a review video on it as well. Be sure to look for that. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. Check out all the links that I'll have in the description. And you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Take it easy now. Bye-bye.